Hello and welcome to the second screencast on individual differences with regards to sports psychology, specifically looking at personality. So, in this screencast, we'll have done the whole of personality and then we'll move on to the next section. So, first of all, we've already looked at the definition of personality and we've looked at trait theory. So, now we're going to look at social learning theory in terms of how our personality is formed, as well as interactionist theory as well. So, first of all, theories of personality formation and social learning theory. So, social learning theory proposes that personality is formed in the way we're going to learn about now. Okay, so it proposes, as I've said, that personality or behaviour is learned a result of, first of all, we've got these kind of key indicators: where from, who from, and how permanent is it. So, first of all, social learning theory proposes that personality is learnt from the environment, okay, that we're in, and also the imitation of significant others or role models. A little bit extra information here, going back to our skill acquisition. It's most likely if the person's the same gender, race, or position of authority. Okay, so how permanent is it? Social reinforcement creates a stimulus response bond in terms of if you get social reinforcement from your imitation of significant others, it is going to form your personality greater. Okay, so for example, a young player being important here, it's about forming a personality. A young player imitating a captain kicking a ball out of play when opposition player is injured and is clapped by the crowd. So the clapping by the crowd is a social reinforcement there. This creates a stimulus response bond and forms our personality. So advantages to this: the Bobozol experiment supports the idea, okay, as well as there is evidence that some aspects of personality are from imitation of significant others. Okay, so again, from our descriptor in terms of the theory or social learning theory, we can get an advantage from our descriptor. Okay, so evidence that some aspects of personality are from the imitation of significant others. Negatives or problems with this: and first of all, not everyone imitates role models, okay, and also it doesn't consider innate traits, so it completely kind of disregards trait theory, which is a negative or disadvantage. Okay, so it doesn't consider innate traits. So that is social learning theory. So please make sure you're getting key questions down. For example, where from, who from, how permanent, as well as the evaluation of the advantages and disadvantages with key questions, please. Moving on to the interactionist theory. So, theories of personality formation. So, according to the interactionist theory, it proposes that personality formation is a combination of the trait and the social learning approach. So, how do they interact with each other? It proposes that innate traits are triggered by environmental change. So, an example of this would: the trait of competitive anxiety is only triggered in a cup final, or trait of aggression is triggered following a high tackle in rugby. So it proposes a combination of both trait and social learning, the interactionist theory. Now, the advantage of this is it's the most credible approach, as it is more likely that we have a combination of traits and socially learned behaviour, which makes sense. And also more likely that traits are triggered occasionally by the environment. Okay. Now, again, if you have a look here, we can get an advantage from the descriptor here. It's a combination of trait and social learning theory. It's the most credible approach, as it is more likely that we have a combination of traits and social learning and behaviour. And then we've got down here in regards to occasionally by changes in environment, so environmental change. Disadvantages to the interactionist theories: it proposes that innate traits must be present in order to be triggered by the environment. So it's kind of really kind of sticking with that trait theory and kind of going on the side of trait theory, suggesting or proposing that innate traits must be present, okay, for that to actually happen. There you go, and that is in your descriptor as well. So get those key points down, questions and answers for them, corner note style, and I'll see you in lesson. Thank you.